Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we're bypassing the burnout and having a light-hearted catch-up over some beers. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. I mean, you definitely need to bypass the burnout. Like,
I'm in Barbados.
That's what we're calling it.
Shit! Have I not told you about that?
No.
About someone at work who lives in Derby informed me that it is called Barbados. And ever since they told me that it's called Barbados, it just makes me chuckle. When I first heard that, I was like, pardon? So there's a Barbados flag.
Is there?
Everything.
Oh.
I don't know, someone made it, and then I turned it into a Slack emoji. So my Slack is now permanently for the next few days the Barbados flag. So, I mean, if you're watching this video, you can see I'm very clearly in a hotel room. Yeah. Premier Inn, what? Like, you always know what you're going to expect. It's a nice hotel room. A Premier Inn. You're probably like, oh, whoa, what's that? I've stayed there. Crazy. Yeah. Like, is that the same place that I stay all the time? Yeah. It's Premier Inn. Quality. You cannot beat quality. But the one positive is like where my office is like Suds and Sodas, just like right there as well. So like I didn't have to pack beers with me because there's no as you know, I don't do like the premium upgrades for Premier Inn, especially when it's work, because it's like I can't say to work, can you pay for an extra month? So I've got a fridge. So basically, I stopped at Suds and Soda, got my beers, came back here podcasting. And we've had so many really serious episodes lately, which I'm here for. I regret nothing. I think it's really important conversations, and we only have 100%. So much time to have these conversations. But I thought maybe we could use a bit of a light-hearted one today, just to catch up, talk where we're at, have fun.
You guys like hearing us just have a chat, like you're overhearing some friends in the pub. So that's what we're going to do.
Is a bit like that. I had Bunk for dinner, which is like my favourite place. You're going to be in Nottingham, so there's an even better Bunk.
What is it?
It's like the beigest of beige food, but it's like awesome. It's chicken tendies.
You know I love a chicken
tendy. It's basically chicken tendies. And can I tell you, it's not just chicken tendies. Yeah. You can get smileys. Potato smileys. Yes! Literally, I am amped about Bunk, like all the time. I'm like, who wants to go to Bunk? Like every time I'm up here, I'm like Bunk, and like to the point that like we had a meet up with like the wider PMO team, and I was like, oh, what should we do for dinner? No. They're like, you talk about Bunk all the time. Can we just go to Bunk? And I was like, I mean, we can, yeah. And there's like they've got really good cocktails and stuff like that. The cocktails are fun. The beers. Fucking terrible. At least the one in Derby, the beer's atrocious. So like you're not going there for a beer, but you are going to go there for a fun, fruity cocktail and some chicken tendies. They do like winging, they do boneless, they do nug nugs, they do there's mozzie sticks, they've got smileys, curlies, like all the things. Like it is just the best beige food ever.
Maybe that's where I'm having dinner on Thursday night.
And today, well, that was it. It's like tonight I was trying to like work out what I wanted to have. And I'm trying to... what I was about to say is making me laugh because of the fact how like opposite it is. I was like, I should really be healthy. The pollen count is just like fucking outrageous. It is. I feel like my head is going to explode. My glands feel like they're going to explode. You know, when your throat just feels tight from like glandular issue. Like that's how I'm feeling. I'm exhausted, I'm run down, and I was like, I should have something healthy.
So you went to Bunk?
Well, yeah, I was going to have something else. And then I was like, especially because I'm having beers tonight for the podcast. And then I kind of went, well, I'm really going to regret it if I don't have Bunk. So I got them. I still have some left. Look, I'll show you. Look at these bad boys. I even got them. You get your...
Oh.
You get to choose the sauces. I added some extra sauces. You got the smileys. I put paprika on those smileys.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, and it's like it's super cheap. Like the prices, it's not super cheap, but like the prices comparatively, if this were down south, I'd be super broke. It would be sad. But it's like really good value for money, and it's about 5 minutes from here, and I still Uber Eatsed it because I was like... I was picking up my beers, ordered it while I was picking up the beers, and was like, I still have to check into the hotel. Let's go. speaking of beers, what are you drinking? Before we get into any more of our catch up bants.
So I have literally just gone in the fridge, like I opened the door and was like, what needs drinking in here?
Oh, I wish I did that.
So I've pulled out Rosalinda.
That's beautiful.
Can.
That's a great name. Right? That is a beautiful can.
It is by Kablaku, who are from Estonia.
Oh.
And it is a hibiscus infused saison.
Oh, I feel like
it looks very pretty.
We're having some fun here tonight.
Yeah, what have you got?
Because I've got Hamilton's Chicha sour. Or Chicha sour.
Oh.
Which, so interesting. This is a unique sour based on the traditional Peruvian soft drink Chicha Morada. This fruity sour is brewed with maize morado, Peruvian purple corn, and soured naturally before going through a traditional fermentation process. The result is a unique and delicious beer that highlights the incredible flavors that can be achieved from brewing with exotic ingredients. I picked that because I was like, the label's caught my attention. It's this lovely, like, neon. It almost looks like a neon graffiti type writing. It makes me think of like what you'd get on a t-shirt at like a beachside like tourist.
I need me one of these for my beer styles challenge.
Oh, do you now?
I do.
Oh, do you now?
Is there someone that could get me one of these?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings us.
So chicha is a type of corn beer.
Yeah, but will this actually come up as that? Because I don't know if
it does, because I just untapped it, which is why I was like, I need that.
I picked it out because, I needed something. I've got a second beer as well, but I was like, obviously I need something, and I can't really... I feel like I've done the cop-out thing of take the beer from the office before, from the local brewery, and I was like, I can't really do that again. So I was like, you know what? It's tradition. When I'm here, I go to Suds and Soda. I'll get a beer. And the label attracted me.
We're apparently unofficially sponsored by Suds and Soda now.
No, not this time. I'm just using a hotel. I'm using just a hotel glass this time.
Got an hotel glass.
I couldn't face being a weirdo again. I feel like I've reached my max of being a weirdo this week. I couldn't be a weirdo again. I nearly packed a glass, and then I was like, you know what?
Why don't you just pack a glass? Or I know you've got like plastic wine glasses. Like, yeah, but pack one of those.
I was like, I don't want to use plastic. But I knew the hotel rooms had the small glass ones, so I was like, why would I pack plastic when I can use? And I've got a water bottle for like my actual water. It's not like I need the glass for that, and I know there's going to be a set of them. So, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I can only do so much weirding in a week.
When I go on holiday, so I've currently booked myself a 2-week holiday. I'm not going away for the full 2 weeks, but doing myself some rounds around some exciting beer things, and then I'm just gonna go hide in a shepherd's hut, like fancy shepherd's hut. I'm not going off grid or any of that. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'd go off grid. I'd go full on off grid.
Sometimes I do that, but I don't want to.
Fair.
I don't want to this time. I want a little bit of luxury. And I am planning on packing a couple of glasses to take with me because I want to get me some nice spontaneous beers, and I'm going to sit there and drink them out of fancy glasses.
I think it depends, because I think like when you're going on holiday and like you're doing a lot of drinking, like it makes sense. Like I can't justify taking glasses to a hotel for like one night's worth of recording because I've got so much other stuff to lug up here, like for work, overnight bags, laptops, kit for recording, like all that. And I'm like, I try to minimize what I can mess up. so I was like, you know what? I'll just use the glasses there. But yeah, I was just like, what am I going to have? And then I saw this one and I was like, oh, that label Magpie, cool. What is that? And then I started reading it and I was like, what? Maize. Okay, that's interesting. Now, is that just the name? And then I read the back of it and I was like, no, this is interesting. I mean, it tastes awesome. It really tastes like it has a cocktail vibe. When we talk about like beers that are cocktail, like that, if you like cocktails, you would like this. I think there's a tartness to it, obviously. Like it's not a sour that's more fruity and sweet than it is sour. Like there is this like really nice tartness to it, but I don't think it's an overpowering tartness. I think there's some cocktails that have this same level of tartness, and not a massively high acidity, and there's like a lovely like fruity note towards the back end, so it's like you have this tartness and then it's finished up with this really like it's quite like thin body. There's a really nice like sweetness towards the back end of it as well, that to kind of like palate cleanse that tartness. And it's really nice and drinkable. And I would say, like, if you like certain cocktails, and I can't even think of any off the top of my brain, but like I would say things that are more like strawberry and berry and cranberry, that kind of stuff, like this,
My
you
faves.
probably like this. It's really nice. I can't, like I said, I'm trying to think of like the best cocktails to compare it to, but I'm like, oh god, that feels like a really hard thing to put on the spot when I don't have ingredients next to each other to try to like play around with it. But yeah, it's really good. I'm surprised that something that has such interesting ingredients tastes so normal. You know, like
Okay.
in the sense of like I expect it to be more wild in terms of taste.
Yeah.
But not like, I don't mean normal in a bad way. I mean like it doesn't taste so out of,
Accessible.
yeah, it doesn't taste so out of the ordinary that you're like, it's a really lovely taste, and
Yeah.
it is accessible. It's approachable for people that maybe aren't beer drinkers but are cocktail drinkers. And it's something that I feel like, oh god, it would be even better if it was actually sunny out and not freezing cold and rainy. But
It was chilly today.
oh god, and it was pissing it down.
Yeah.
I got to the hotel, no, I got to the office, and I was like, oh god, I'll take my stuff over like at some point. And then it just started chucking it down, and I was like, I don't even want to go out for lunch. And then at lunchtime, thankfully, it stopped raining, and I was like, I'm running my stuff to the hotel now, so that way if it rains at the end of the day, I don't have to come back with all of my things again. So yeah, that was Mish. I can't wait for you to see the second beer I have as well, but I'm going to hold fire on that for now. No spoilers.
You need to get me one of those, please.
We'll see.
Please.
Maybe we'll see.
I'm going to save it for our Q2 review episode, but I'm revising my beer goals. But we'll talk about that in the episode.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm holding fire on what I was about to say, because I was like, that is a Q2 episode. Q2 episode review, I think, is going to be a long one.
Do you think so?
I think so, because I feel like we've got so much to talk about now that I'm also doing the tracker as well. Like now that like I'm doing the beer stars as well, and I've caught up on all that and everything. I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about. This could even be a two-parter for all we know.
Oh goodness,
we don't know. We'll see about that.
I've slacked on my drink harder challenge.
Don't talk about it now. You can't talk about it now. Don't know spoilers.
I was going to say about it, but I'm just
if it helps, I've slacked on my I've slacked on my buy and try, but I wouldn't call it slacking. I would call it something else. But yeah, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot to talk about there, and a lot to unpack. But yeah, my next 2 weeks is like shocking. I go on holiday next week on Thursday. I'm up in Derby for the next few nights. It was like we recorded last night, and then I feel like I got the shittest night's sleep, and then I got up so early to come up to Derby.
Oh, I think they were tweaking our 5G
Is the 5G chips again?
Yeah, because I kept waking up last night. Like every couple of hours, I was like,
damn 5G chips.
Yeah,
I feel like the pollen count's also not helping, and I've been taking hay fever tablets or whatever, which like doesn't help make me feel not shit, because it just inherently makes you groggy. So I was just like,
I take one every day, like every day.
Are you immune to it now?
Yeah,
see, I
I'm
don't.
immune to it.
I don't.
And like there was a point where I was like, and this is totally not beer related, here we go.
Sorry, this is a catch up.
Yeah, there was a point where I was just like, you know what, I take a hay fever tablet every day, like I feel like it doesn't do anything anymore, and I stopped taking it, and I was like, nope, sure does, better start taking that again.
I mean, like it does nothing for me, and then you don't take it.
I'm like, oh yeah, no, it does.
Just kidding. Fully kidding.
The only time I don't take my hay fever tablet is if like I've got a cold and I'm taking some other form of medication instead. God. Just like, yeah, because otherwise, like clockwork every day.
The worst part was like I took that earlier in the day, and then I think I took another one right before we started recording. So I was like, this is just, I cannot right now. Like my nose was going and everything. And then I was like, I probably shouldn't have taken that before I start having beers. That's probably not good.
That's either not going to be good or might be good.
Might be great.
Don't
for when I wanted to sleep.
Don't recommend doing it.
I don't recommend doing it, but but it also didn't really help me sleep. Like, and then so I'd like packed. I'd like finished packing last night, and so I got into bed, and it wasn't even that late. But like the best and worst part is now it stays lighter later. So I was like, it doesn't even feel late enough for me to be able to go to bed, because I feel like it's not dark enough for me to be able to go to bed. I feel like it's too light. And I was like, but it was like 10 o'clock and Rick was just like, I see in the calendar you're recording tomorrow. You're not actually recording tomorrow, are you? I was like, yep. And he's like, Jesus. He's like, you really like to burn the candle at both ends. I was like, all 8 ends, bud. Yeah. And he was like, do you, he said, he went, oh, you're recording twice next week, yeah? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, Monday and Tuesday, bearing in mind we go away on Thursday. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing to yourself? And I was like, I gotta do it. It's not going to do itself. Got to do it. So yeah, that's where I'm at about this point. I'm like, Derby, home, weekend of packing and trying to sort out all the things we haven't sorted before holiday, work handovers, girl bossing. I'm kind of tired of girl bossing. I don't really want to girl boss anymore. I want to go to bed. I girl boss too hard.
Yeah, I enjoy a good girl boss time, but there are also times where I'm like, I don't want a girl boss anymore. Can I just like go and read my book?
That's sort of how I feel. It's like
someone else can girl boss now, yeah.
Some days I go like, I've done so much. I've girl bossed so hard, but I don't want to do it anymore.
I'm tagging out. Someone else's turn to go girl boss.
Do you know when like kids like get really tired and they like throw themselves on the ground and they're like, I won't do anymore. And they're like, I just wish we could do that as adults. It's like there's I walked
do it all the time.
We saw this when we were in York. It was like we saw multiple people with like different apparatuses like for holding their children. There was like a backpack that like also held their kids, or like a really good like pram that also had like a thing to hold a kid in a particular way. And I was like, can we get one of those, please? Like I said to Rick, I was like, can you get one of those, please? I was like, because sometimes when I'm tired and I don't want to walk anymore, you could just put me like on your back. And he was like, no,
absolutely not.
He was like, no. He's like, because you would genuinely like that. And like, no. And I was like, But yeah, there are just days that I just go, like I just walked into Rick the other day and I was like, I girl boss too hard. I know I'm tired. He was like, we've got other things to do though. And I was like, but I don't think you understand. I girl boss very hard, and I'm mentally done. And I've still got 1,000,001 things to do between now and when my cab comes to pick me up at 3:45 next Thursday. So I'm like, this is great. I thought, let's just take it easy on one episode, because like I said, we've had a lot of like heavy shit recently, and I was like, let's stop girl bossing for a minute. We need the adults in the room. It's not us. Let's let someone else be that adult, and let's just have fun. What about you? What's coming up for you? We don't really we've been so busy that we basically chat or we get to podcast, obviously besides messages, but I feel like I save up all the things to talk to you about for when we actually speak to each other.
Enjoyed that meme that you shared today, actually.
Oh my god, there's like, we have so many things to talk about.
I have notes.
I have an agenda.
Yeah,
it is a bit like that.
We do that. What's happening for me? So, I mean, this is going to date it, but it's fine.
But this is part of the problem, is we're batch record, like because this is why I also thought it'd be a bit fun, because I feel like we're batch recording stuff, and it's like, what I don't want to do is be like, let's put in something that is going to date itself already by the time it comes out. Let's just have a bit of a laugh.
I've got Nottingham Craft Beer Festival coming up. I love Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. By the time this comes out, Nottingham Craft Beer Festival will be done, but can highly recommend. I haven't even been to 2024 yet, but I'm going to recommend it anyway for you to go to in 2025, because I love
not
Nottingham
even gone
Craft
yet,
Beer
but
Festival.
100%.
I've been before, and it's like, I just love it as a festival. Like it's not huge, but it's in a really nice, like it's in Snayton Market, around where the Neon Raptor tap room is.
It's a cool area.
They just kind of do it in the alleyways, and like
it sounds dodgy when you explain it like that though. Like if someone's not been there and you're like, they just like put it. But if someone's never been to that market and they're like, they just like put it on in the alleyways, like that's that sounds dodgy.
Like, it's like rows of buildings, and then there's a space between each one, so the festival gets put in the spaces.
I really like that description.
But I've said this once and I will say it again. I think people sleep on Nottingham's beer scene.
Yeah, I did do a blog post on it, I think.
It's so
A
good.
bit ago when I was in Nottingham quite a long time ago. This is it. The worst part is though, is like I've got beers for you, and then I realised you're at Nottingham and I'm in Derby, and I was like, that is like literally 5 minutes down the road. Like I could just bring you your beers.
We're gonna like pass each other on the M11.
And then I'm like, when are you here? And you're like, Thursday. And I was like, what time? And you're like, Thursday night. And I was like, I have a hard stop at 1 because I've got to get back for a hair appointment. If I didn't have to be back for a hair appointment, which it was like the only time I could do before holiday, without leaving it too far before holiday, I would have stayed a bit later to be able to give you the beers, because I thought it would just make sense where we're literally, but we are quite literally going to pass each other.
So Nottingham, love Nottingham, love the Canal House, which is, got a canal and a canal boat in it. Junkyard is great. It's down a weird alleyway.
Junkyard is down a weird alleyway. I'll give you that.
Down a weird alleyway, but it's great. Keen's Head, great. Liquid Light, Neon Raptor. What's not to like, right? So I'm up for Nottingham Craft.
Black Iris is there as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Black Iris is there as well. Like all the good stuff. Going to be up there. Looking forward to that. Going to take some colleagues around who have not been to Nottingham before. So
again, I didn't realise that fell when I came up here. And the worst was, as I was driving up, I forgot about Download Festival this weekend. So be mindful of the traffic, because you are going to be foobarred. Thankfully, I'm going in the opposite direction to Download Festival. I forgot all about Download and I knew it was this weekend, but I forgot about location wise. And I didn't realise that this was Nottingham Craft Beer Festival weekend either when I picked this, because I picked this week a while back. And to be honest, I know that I shouldn't, but if I didn't have a hair appointment, I probably would have been like, YOLO, why don't I just extend that and stay like a little bit longer? Rick would have murdered me like 100%, because we're going on holiday next week. He was like, we need to have a healthy weekend of getting shit done before holiday. And I was like,
does he even know you? Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't like, and the thing is, like, I don't disagree with him.
I know,
but I'm also like, there's like so many things that could. He went, we're leaving this weekend open, and I went, yeah, of course we are. We don't have anything on this weekend, and he goes, I mean it. We're not just to see. He was like, we're not. He's like, you cannot just do there's a tap take over here. And I went, I would never.
You would never do that.
He's like, can we please? He's like, please, can we just leave it open? And I was like, yeah, of course we can. Like, that's my plan. That's exactly my plan. I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, you're not just going to do there's a tap take over here. And I was like, no. And here I am, less than 24 hours. Like, it's one of those, like, don't bring your bullshit in here. And here I am bringing my bullshit in. Like, if I didn't have a hair appointment, I would definitely stay.
Be staying at Nottingham Craft Beer Festival, and then Rick would murder you.
I did see I saw the best meme on my algorithms, and it was like some goose with really funny music, just like walking down the hallway, like this weird goose, and it said, my colleagues to me, don't you come clocking into work and be a silly goose all day. And then it's like me clocking into work being a silly goose, and it was like a goose just walking around. I just send it to one of my coworkers, because like all the time he'll send me like goose memes. It's just like, here's more I don't know why, I just ended up dress up as Untitled Goose Game once. Yeah. And everyone just laugh at a few really good goose memes. Like there was one that said excuse me, and it was like a bunch of weird geese, and I was like, send a few geese memes, create a few Slack emojis of geese, dress up as Untitled Goose Game once, all of a sudden everyone thinks you love geese.
I mean, I feel like that's fair evidence that you love geese.
Here I am bringing my silly goose attitude in here. I don't even like geese. Geese actually like terrify me. I don't trust them. I don't trust anything that could just fly into your face like that. I'm good.
They'll honk at you.
Yeah, they do. Press Y to honk.
Yeah. Good beer.
Good beer.
Bringing it back round.
Good beer. Great reference. Bringing it back round to beer.
Yes, I've got Nottingham coming up. I've then got some time in Germany. Then I've got a bit of time in Cambridge.
That's fun.
Then I've got my holiday, which I'm really looking forward to. So
That sounds like there's a lot of like, then I have time in before your holiday. And like, from what I know when your holiday is, I'm like, oh, that's not even that far away. It's right around the
yeah.
corner. But then you're like, I'm in Nottingham and Cambridge and Germany.
So
And then I'm like, how are you even going to enjoy your holiday? You're going
yeah.
to be
So
dead.
I was looking at my calendar today, and I was like, so next week, like, so obviously festival the end of this week. Next week is an air quotes normal week.
Normal week. Okay.
Where, you know, I'm like just doing regular work. I'm not jetting off anywhere. But on the Sunday, like, of that week, I go out to Germany, and then it's Germany, Cambridge, a work party, and then my holiday. So I'm pretty solid for like, and then of course I've got like next week I've got a bunch of meetings and stuff in because I'm office bound. So all the meetings have been stacked in there. I've got like my yearly appraisal. And yes, you know, nothing important.
just casual.
Like, some big things. And you know, I'm working on some big projects at this that are going to come out. Like we're edging towards harvest season, so there's some big projects that I'm working on. Yeah, so I'm a little bit busy, but I've got 2 weeks off, so
It's working for your 2 weeks off.
working for my 2 weeks off, and then it'll be straight back into it.
Oh, that's it. So I feel like your holiday is going to give me a slight break in the sense of like, you won't be able to record for some of that. So I'm going to go on holiday and I'm going to come back. So I don't have to go straight back into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to go straight back into work, but like, I don't necessarily have to go straight back into the recording side of things, which I love recording, don't get me wrong. But it's like, you know, when you come back and like, I've got to catch up on work and then I've got to do this and I've got to do that. At least it gives me like a little bit of breathing room. For you, I'm not saying that that's all we have to do when you come back, but it's that thing of you've got all these things and then you have a break and then it's like, okay, like just back at it. Was you've given me the breathing room.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah,
appreciated.
What have you got coming up?
Holiday. Yeah, fly out to Boston and then we're renting a car. I will say it was not that much. It was only like a few hundred more to get a convertible, so we rented a convertible.
Nice. I've been looking at SUVs.
We are like too big. I cannot. That stresses me out.
I might have to
stresses
drive one.
me out.
I might have to drive one with like many brewers in it.
Oh god, that's too much. I would be stressed. I cannot.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a designated driver, and I think somebody else is going to be a designated driver because we need 2 for one of the tours we're doing. So,
oh my goodness.
I mean, I drove a van up to Liverpool, so
yeah, I can drive. Like the thing is, I can drive an SUV. I just find it stressful. Like
and that was manual, so you know.
Automatic's like no.
Right, when I go into America, it's just like driving a go-kart because it's just push and go, right? It's just big.
That's the problem. It's the size, but then the car park spaces are big enough. But
yeah, and the American roads are way bigger than the ones.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm going to drive down a country road in it.
Well, that's what I think about. I'm like, oh, that's stressful, but then I'm like, nah, it's actually fine. But it's just too big. It's too much.
I will be on the wrong side of the road, of course. So I've got.
That's the one thing that I'm worried about is because I'm so used to driving on this side of the road now.
Yeah.
That and like when I go back, I've done less and less driving over the years because I don't really want to take the risk of like messing somebody's car up, whatever. I mean, you just have to follow everyone else, but still. So this is going to be interesting driving up. So we're driving up to Vermont. So literally, so it's basically we fly in the night before. We probably land at like 10 or whatever. So we land about like 10 o'clock at night. Then the next morning, we get up, go pick up the car back at the airport because the only way for us to get the convertible was to book it for the next day. First world problems. We were like, we can't get
problems.
We
ideally, where am I going to rent my convertible?
We ideally wanted to pick it up from the airport the night that we landed, so no one had to come get us. But first world problems, we couldn't get it. So they're like, it has to be the next morning. Ugh, gross, brother. Ugh. So we have to drive back to the airport the next morning, and then I've booked us in Vermont the Alchemist Brewery tour for 3 o'clock. I think it is like literally our first full day. Will probably be jet lagged to fuck, but hopefully we'll just go to sleep when we get there and it'll be okay. Lots of caffeine. go up to Alchemist, have the tour, and then we go back to our Airbnb. I've booked us glass blowing. I'm really quite excited. For the next morning, I've booked us glass blowing, and I'm going to make myself a little beer glass. It's going to be cool because it's just something different, isn't it? It's like, I don't really...
You need to get videos because I want to see you doing it.
Experience-wise, it's just something that's different and a bit unique. So I just thought it'd be a bit of fun. So I was like, shall we do this instead? Because really, the whole reason we're in Vermont really is to do beer stuff. It was just a detour for beer stuff. And I thought we might as well stay over 2 nights just to give ourselves some extra wiggle room so we have a whole full day there. So that's going to be cool. And like when I saw you could make a beer glass, I was like, well, hell yeah, let's do that. And there's so many beer spots where we're staying. So that's going to be really good. Then we drive up to Montreal. We spend, I think it's 5 nights in Montreal. And then we head back down. We are going to Portland, Maine, which obviously, like, I've been there so many times, but like it sucks because I never get to go there in the summer when the weather's really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. My cousin lives there and she's in a band, so she's playing a gig the first night that we get there.
Nice.
Because she had put something up about her band, and I was like, oh, if you're playing, like when we're going to be staying there for 2 nights, like if you let me know if you're playing, like we'll buy tickets or whatever. And she's like, which nights are you staying? And I told her, and she went, the first night you're there, I'm actually playing a really cool rooftop gig. I'll put you on the guest list if you want. And I was like, oh, just send me the link and I'll buy the ticket. And she's like, oh, don't be silly, I'll put you on the list, don't worry, I'll send you the itinerary. So I need to chase her for that. Well, I need to chase her for that because I don't know where it is.
Right, so you're going to rock up in your convertible?
No, that's going to get parked.
VIP experience.
No, that's going to be parked.
Rooftop gig.
That's going to be parked at the Airbnb. But it is a really good location for the Airbnb. So we got a really good deal, I think, and it looks nice. So hopefully it lives up to how nice it looks and the ratings are. But yeah, that's going to be good because like first night is like rooftop gig, which will be a fun way to end just the trip of just like the 2 of us. Because like we are just the 2 of us, and then we're spending a week with my family. We'll be celebrating the 4th of July with them, which I thought would be fun. Rick's never got to experience the 4th of July, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just...
Oh, that would be exciting.
Like, we've done, like, small, cheesy things, like, over here, just because... Like, just because it's an excuse. Like, it's an excuse for, like, let's make fun cocktails and have a barbecue, but he's never done anything properly like that. So I think this will be the first time... Yeah, I think it's, like, the first time that he's actually gotten to properly... experience. So we're going to a lake house with my family for just under a week, so that will be cool, and then I come back, so I'm hoping to get lots of sun.
I think the last time I celebrated the 4th of July in the US, I was told I had to wear red, white and blue.
Fair.
So I had a white t-shirt that was a David Bowie print, but it was David Bowie print in a Union Jack. And I was like, red,
still
white,
counts.
blue.
Still counts.
That's what you told me to wear.
And then part of me
were like, ugh, hard eye roll.
Part of me thinks it would be really, really funny to just wear my Union Jack, because I do have a Union Jack top that I bought as like a joke. Because we're not like patriotic. Rick and I just aren't patriotic people for like any country. We're not like... Maybe for Japan. We're like patriotic, like, yeah, Japan.
You've got to be patriotic for Japan when you're not from there.
We're like, we love Shiba Inus, yes. But we're not really like British or American patriotic. So that we just had it for funny. I said to him, I was like, I'm going to get you some American flag swim trunks. And he was like, do it. He was like, do it. I don't care. But the ones that I found... I'll tell you about them. He definitely could not wear. I was like, no. I'll tell you about them later. No. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything rude. Like, it's not anything that's saucy or rude. It's just something that I was like, there is
making it worse.
No way that we can walk around in this because I cannot deal with the interactions. But I'll tell you later because I'm not going to tell you now. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in my life for the next few weeks. I don't really have anything beer related that's like massively big and upcoming. I think I'm gonna... I don't mind putting this on record. Gonna apply for us to be in the Beer Writers Guild. So that'll be...
Yeah, we're going to give that a go. See what happens.
Give it a go. Like, we've been told, like, quite a few times, like, oh, you should join. And then I think it's just that imposter syndrome, isn't it? Of like, oh no, and the way that it's kind of written, you kind of feel like, oh, well, I'm not a writer, but it's like, oh, a beer communicator. And we've done like a lot of really important conversations, I think.
Yeah.
But we always just kind of like put it off and we're like, yeah, eventually we'll do it. And then I think I went to go apply for us, was confused how I would do it for a podcast, and then thought that can be a future me problem. And then as I was like doom scrolling, I saw the beer fridge guys had said, oh, we just got into the guild. And I was like, I was like, you know what? Like, this is my sign to just finish doing what I started. So gonna submit that. Hopefully we get in there. So that's something, a bit of, I don't know, hopefully good news that will be coming up for both of us. But other than that, I don't think there's a lot that's on my radar at the moment in terms of like beer stuff besides holiday.
I'm going to try and go to Little Earth Fest.
I'm jealous because every year it's
We
so
always say,
every
don't
year
we?
I'm like, next year's
We
gonna
always
be the
say we wanna
year,
go.
but I'm never around every time.
Yeah, I'm around, and it's right at the beginning of my holiday, and I was like, I'm going to make it happen. So I think I'm going to go.
Thing is, I'll technically be around this year, but like by the time I come back, it's just going to be, it's too tight after I come back that we're probably going to be.
That's always been the way, hasn't it? There's
normal.
always something else happening around it, or like either side of it, that we've never been able to make it work. So I was like, I think I'm going to make this work. So I'm going to go to there. Might do a little visit to Duration as well while I'm over that side of the country. Because
that'd be cool. That seems like a really cool place to go.
Yeah, I'll probably just pop in and like pick up beers.
Stay for like a cheeky half and then...
Right, yeah, I might have like half and then...
I guess it depends on how you're feeling by the time you get there.
Right.
You might just be like, pick up beers and go, I'm done.
But yeah, I'm gonna pop in there because I've always wanted to go there as well, and I'm never that way.
You need to talk to them to see if they want to come on a podcast, because we've been asked to have them on the podcast, and we would have them on the podcast. I think it's that thing of like, they are somebody that has been requested of us to get on. And it's absolutely not that we don't want them on by any means. It's two things. One, we've just been so damn busy that I've kind of put on pause all the proactive reaching out to do interviews. If somebody said, "Oh, like, can we come on?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, fine," because that is like, I don't have to do the legwork of like
commitment,
trying to arrange it and everything else, and the logistics of getting the beer and all that other stuff. Like, I need to put a beer order in, and I've got to do this, I've got to do that. With the holidays coming up, it's a nightmare. But like with Duration, I'm like, there's that where I'm like, I'm so burnt. Like, in a few months we'll revisit this. But also too, I'm like, oh, they don't want to talk to us. Like, like, you know, that thing of like, I'm sure that's not like, I'm sure that if we reached out, somebody would be like, yeah, sure, like, cool. But honestly, people like that, you just like really look at, you're just like, oh, I don't want to ask, because I don't want to be rejected. That'll make me if I don't ask I can't get rejected, because we've talked about them so many times on the podcast and how like we love their beers, and
we've had their beers on
so many times. But it's that thing of, you're like, oh, I don't want to get rejected. That would be real sad. But you can go network in person now.
Okay, I mean, it's a Sunday at the chat room, so you know, Bates and Miranda may not be there. It's probably going to be chat room staff.
No.
Yeah, like, they have, you know, other things to do.
You should be like, do you know who
I
am?
Does that.
Here's my card.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I've met and spoken to Miranda before.
Yes, there you go. You should go. Yeah, we know each other.
No. Yeah, because you'd do that, wouldn't you?
I absolutely would not. I would be like, she doesn't know who I am, but please. I wouldn't even. It wouldn't even be that. I would go, thank you for this drink, this is lovely, bye. And then I'd walk away. I would say nothing. And then I'd be embarrassed and I'd replay it in my head till 3 a.m. the next night. Like, honestly.
Oh, dear. I love it.
Well, should we do, so we've created something. I've created the I don't know even what to call it. Just like, I was calling it table topics. I didn't really know what else to call it, but like, when someone just asks a question, or it's just like a casual
question jar.
question jar, but it's like I've got some would you rathers in there, some light-hearted
Are they not?
topics
I
to
hope
talk
they're
about.
not like the would you rather's that you were talking about at the beginning, because
Before we started recording,
those I was
no,
like,
I'm gonna give you one of Rick's would you rathers though, because he submitted one, and I was
okay.
like, I am not gonna ask most of those, but there was one that did make me laugh that I feel like is appropriate to read.
Okay.
He put, would you rather dogs barks sounded like Owen Wilson saying wow, or someone screaming?
Wow, definitely wow.
Probably because I've heard huskies and they sound like they're screaming, and it's sometimes you just go, all right, enough.
Yeah.
But if they open their mouth and they went wow, that would
Yeah.
be
That's fine. Yeah, easy. That was an easy one.
but like I don't. That is something to ponder about, because you kind of go, if I had to meet that the first time you've heard that, if that's all I ever knew, I'd be like, normal, fine.
Yeah.
The first time you hear that, if this just like someone snapped their fingers and tomorrow that happened, but none of us knew, can you imagine the first dog that went wow, and you're like, what is
why is Owen Wilson's voice coming out of this dog?
repeatedly? And you're like, it's a bit much. What's going on? Like, who's punking me? I mean, like, I don't know how many days it would take for that to wear off. But yeah, so basically, I thought we would have this bucket that we could revisit every so often. And yeah, another question he asked me, just for everyone else's awareness, which Jo does not need to answer, is would you rather have 10 huskies or 20 pommies? And I was like, I'd rather have 15 pomskis, which is Phelan's. I'll have 15. I'll meet in the middle and have 15 Phelan's. That's fine. But yeah, I thought we'd have this bucket that we could, or I have it in my tankard, my Viking tankard. But obviously I'm traveling. I couldn't really take my Viking tankard. So I just shoved it in a tiny envelope. So it's not really like a topic jar. It's a topic envelope. So I thought I'll just pull some of these out. I thought when we have time at the end of certain episodes or whatever, answer a few, keep adding to it every time we have one. Let's answer a few and talk about them. Let's extrapolate.
Okay. Let's.
All right, you ready for the first one?
I'm
I don't
ready.
know, literally don't even know what it's going to be. And people can 100% just submit their own. And some of these, like, they're not all, it's not, some of them are controversial, some of them are not controversial, some of them are just very, like, just light-hearted things. That as I'm reading something, I'm like, I wonder what somebody else would think about this. Which is the first one, which is, I just put, what are your thoughts? Like, I've been reading a lot of articles, and the name, and someone is called like a beer tender.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I quite like that. Because I feel like, but you've got to be specific about this, right? I feel like if you're a beer tender, then you specifically work at like a tap room or a beer bar, and I think you are trained, like, you know.
Do you think it requires like, do you think it requires like a certification to call yourself a beer tender?
Well, I mean, yes, but I think you have to have, like, maybe not necessarily a certification, but you have to understand beer and be able to, like we were talking about the other day when we were talking about beer education. Like, you know, when I go into a good beer bar, I expect the bartender to know what they're serving, know the flavors, be able to recommend things to me. If you're a beer tender, that's what I expect from you. I expect you to have knowledge about beer, about the beers that you're serving, and to be able to recommend me something. Or if someone brand new to beer comes up and goes, well, I like these flavors, you should have enough knowledge to be able to say, well, this beer has this kind of flavors, or I don't know if we've got anything, maybe try this. Like, you should be that knowledgeable to be a beer tender.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like mixed emotion on it, in the sense of, like, I don't know how I feel, because, like, sometimes I hear it and it just sounds a little bit wanky when it's like certain ways that it's used. Like, it depends on, but I think that also has to do with the context of, like, when it's used, like in certain scenarios when it's like, oh, not people calling themselves when they're like, I went and I spoke to the beer tender, and it's like not at an establishment like that. You're like, oh, it just sounds wanky, don't call it that. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it feels very American. Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of people over here that are like, I am a beer tender.
No. And I don't think I hear people over here kind of use it. Like, I've definitely heard more Americans use it.
But admittedly, like, you got mixologists.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what they specialise in, is making the cocktails. Surely if you specialise in beer serving,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Beer tender.
I think it's just when it's used in a way that just feels like it's just a
Like,
misalignment.
There are definitely, you know,
They're like, that's just wanky for the sake of it. Don't do that.
Tap room terms, and you know, there's a bunch of those that are just wanky, depending on how you use it.
Like, what I'm trying to think of, like, other ones off the top of my head that could be, but I can't even, like, it's the thing that in the moment when it doesn't fit the scene, like, if it fit, like, I can't think of it off the top of my head, because if I thought of examples, I'd be thinking of it in the right context. Like, can you think of any other ones that could be like, just sound like, oh, I ain't right?
Off the top of my head,
I think it's that thing of like, somebody uses it in a context that doesn't quite fit, and you just go, oh,
yeah,
it's not the one. Yeah, that was the. Oh, I'm glad that one came up first, because I feel like that started off lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, you guys can submit your own. This is like some examples of the type of stuff that you can submit to us. The name beer tender. What do you guys think about that? I said I don't. When I say it's wanky, I don't even mean like that's somebody using it on themselves. I'm like, you're terrible. But it just, I don't know. Sometimes it just hits different. You're like, oh no. Right, before I pull another one out, are you ready for your next beer? Or
I can get a second beer.
Let's get the second beer, because I feel like we're about at that point anyway, so we can probably have another beer.
So what's your second one?
So I have got Neon Raptors, Crimes Against Brewing. It's an 8% maple toffee and pecan pie double pastry stout.
Oh, that's so you.
I know. And well, basically, because I was like, what can I get? Because we said there's no fridge. I will tell you with this one, what I did when I came in, because I was like, I've got about a half hour, 45 minutes to record. I had to I filled up the sink with as cold water as I could get, and just chuck the can in there, because that's all I could think of to keep it cold.
Pro travel tips, people.
Yeah, this is like pro travel tips. If you don't have like an insulated thing to keep it in, you don't want to buy ice, you don't want that, put it in there. What you got?
So while we're talking about that, do you know what, we're going to come back round to that, because I've got some tips, because I went to Fine Fest.
Oh, okay,
so we can talk about that.
Okay, yeah,
and I've got some tips for that.
Okay, well, yeah, so my tip of when you're in a hotel room and you don't have a fridge, and you're not someplace that, like, if I was outside or I could open a window, it wouldn't be a problem. I've tried to crank the AC as much as I can. The ACs in Premier are shit, so all I really could do was just fill up that sink with cold water as I could make it, which was like okay cold level. Chuck it in there and it's done fine. But I was like, for having 2 beers, I'm not gonna be able to keep it decent for 2 beers, so I was like, get a stout. So I was looking at what my stout offerings were, or the beers that I could have at a warmer temperature. And then I was like, it's pecan pie and maple. Like, I'm not going to not have it, am I?
Right, that's you. It's got your name written on it.
So I was like, all right, here's. And the thing is, I'm trying not to buy any more beer. I'm buying it because I was like, I need it for recording tonight.
Yeah.
But I can't just buy it to take home. So I was like, YOLO, I'll have it for the recording. So yeah, what are you drinking?
I have got Tonka White Forest Gatto Sour from Vault City and Loki.
That label is gorgeous. Of course, it's got to have Tonka in it.
Yeah, it's got Tonka in it, obviously.
But I love that label.
It's beautiful. I like the Black Forest Gatto one they did. This is the White Forest Gatto, and it is equally delish.
What would make a White Forest Gatto?
We use white chocolate instead of dark chocolate.
But I just don't like. I don't feel like I've ever seen a White Forest. Like I've only seen like the chocolate.
I bet there's
Gatto.
White Forest ones.
There's got to be one. I've just never seen one.
Be white chocolate and vanilla cream.
If this beer could be a candle smell, I'm really sorry. I can't get away from it. I just keep smelling it. If this was a candle smell, it would be burning all year round. I'd be buying multiples. Oh, I don't even want to drink it. It just smells too nice. It just I can only use the word reeks but in the best way. It just absolutely oozes that maple and pecan pie. Not so much toffee, and I'm fine with that. It's the maple, the pecan pie. There's a roastiness.
if you've got maple right though, it does overpower everything else.
No,
anyway.
this is so well balanced. It's
that's what I mean. But like, I mean, if you're going to put maple and toffee in, maple's going to win out.
Yeah, which I hope would be, because I'm way more of a maple fan.
I'm not mad at it. Like, that's a great thing.
That mouthfeel. It's so full on without being like syrupy. The best way I can describe this is when you have a latte and it's like a really foamy latte, because there's this like really heavy roasty coffeeness and there's like a nuttiness to it, and it has that foamy element to like with the foam all on top of it. It was just like this very light, velvety, fluffy, but still really, really full mouthfeel. So it tastes like when you have just a really thick, like foamy coffee top, and it beautiful. Sorry, carry on with, I can't get away from it. It's the lingering taste of pecan pie is beautiful.
I'm enjoying my beer too. So you filling up your sink with cold water made me think about when I went to Fine Fest the other week. So Fine
give me the highlights.
Yeah, so Fine Fest was great. Another festival that I can highly recommend. It is a bit out of the way because Fine Ales is out of the way.
It ain't fine.
I mean, it is.
It is fine, but it ain't fine getting there.
Fine Ales are up by Loch Fyne in the Highlands. It's a pretty straight shot from Glasgow, but it's like hour and 10 minutes, hour and a half outside of Glasgow.
If you hadn't been traveling with someone from work that had did the van pick you up, or did you have to make your own way there? Like, how did you actually get there if you wanted to get there from Glasgow?
So got picked up in a car. That's the best way. You've got, I mean...
Do you think it would be a challenge if you had flown in? Not that you couldn't do it, but would it be more challenging if you wanted to visit and you were like, I'm not driving, I'm flying, and then I need to get there?
You've got to go by car. Like, you've got there, like... Yeah, it's right out of the way. Like, you've got to go in a camper van, you've got to go in a car.
Fair.
Something like that. So I flew up. A colleague was driving up, so we piled all of our camping gear in his car. He drove up from Kent. He went up early for a couple of days, and then I flew in, and my colleague from Manchester went by train. So he got collected, and then they came and collected me from the airport, and then we drove out there, put our tents up. They went to the supermarket in the car before they came and got me from the airport, and this was genius because we took beers with us, and I was like, but how are we going to get them cold? And they're like, there's a river, we can just put them in a river.
That's what I was thinking. I'd be like, river beers,
I was
go.
like, okay, cool. I was like, we'll find a way, it'll be fine.
Or a net in a river.
Because like, I'm flying, they were in hotels the night before, so it's not like we could take a cool bag with some, with some frozen blocks in it, because we've got nowhere to freeze it. So I was like, okay, fine.
So I would have just thought, buy ice, get a cool bag and buy ice.
Wait. So they went to the supermarket. They were looking to see if they could find a cool box or a cool bag. No, couldn't find it. They got a bag of ice.
Yeah.
Bought a big old plant pot. Ice in the plant pot. Beers in it.
So the ice made sense to me from the beginning, because immediately, because I said, you're going to bring a cool bag, and yeah, well, I won't have anywhere to do this. Okay, fair enough. In my brain, I'm like, I'll just buy ice, but I get how the rest of the day, like the rest of the time, that only works for so long, like a day's worth of time. But the plant pot, that's a nice touch.
It was genius. Like, they were just like, so we bought a plant pot and some ice, and I was like, for the beers, that's genius.
Do you have a photo of the plant pot?
I don't know if I do. I don't think I do, actually. But yeah, we just kept like sticking beers in. So we went up early on the Thursday, set up camp on the Thursday. So I mean, it was open, like the bars were open, but we took some beers and we had beers up there, and so you kind of can do your own beers before the festival properly opens. I mean, once the festival was properly open, there was no shortage of beer.
Well, I was going to say, was there, like, was there even a point of like drinking not at the festival once the festival was open, or was it?
I suppose it depends on what you want to drink, like, because it's a pay-as-you-go festival, so
fair.
Or no, you get beer tokens, so you are paying as you go, but you're doing it with beer tokens. So I mean, You could go up there and take the rain. I mean, there were people with cases of tenants. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a bold move.
One of my colleagues, I'm not going to shame him. He knows who he is.
Like, you know who you are. You know.
Wanted a case of tenants, and he got told no. Not that our other colleague was actually opposed to it. It's just that we had other beer. So
I feel like I
we don't need the tenants as well.
I appreciate the boldness of that approach. But I guess you kind of go like, when in Glasgow.
Yeah.
When in Scotland.
There was a beer writer who shall remain nameless, who had his crate of tenants.
Oh, things just got interesting.
I mean, it's the bit like when you come into Glasgow Airport, you're literally coming out of the airport and there's a big old tenant sign. Like,
well, it said when in Scotland.
It is everywhere. When in Scotland, you can drink some tenants. But yeah, the beer selection was.
I'd probably go Holy Goat for City.
We took we had some Holy Goat with us. We had Holy Goat, Loch Lomond,
Don Soko, New Barnes. Like, I'd be like, let's get all those ones. Tenants, okay. You do you. You do you, baby girl.
We have Vocation as well. Not Scottish, but we have Vocation as well.
Fair.
Yeah, so yeah, good times, good beers on. So there was a Origins bar, which I was quite excited about. So that's their kind of barrel program. I had a Dark Creek from them that was
that sounds amazing,
beautiful. They were gonna have a beer de garde on that I really wanted to try, but it wasn't going to be on until the Saturday, and we were only there Friday.
We were only there for a day. I feel like I thought you were going to be there the whole weekend.
No, we got there Thursday, we were there Friday, and then we came home Saturday. Fair. So coming all the way home to Kent from the Highlands, like
that's
literally opposite ends of the country. And then my flight was delayed and they just didn't tell us.
That's why I feel like I'd be like, I need to just stay the whole weekend. Just to go that far. Talking of burnout, that's like a lot of travel to do for such little time being spent there. And can anybody just bring their own beer in? Or do you have to be somebody that's...
in the campsite.
I didn't know if it was like, if you're there in like a work capacity, it doesn't really matter as much, but...
No, everyone can bring their own stuff in. Because it's just camping, so... bring stuff in. We got like the early access camping, so that's why we got there on Thursday. Then some of the bars, just the mixtape bar was open, and then the other bars opened the next day. The main bar had I thought it was really great. Not so great for taking photos and putting things on Instagram when you were trying to highlight what beer you were drinking, but it was numbered.
Yeah, okay.
So they had chalkboards up the top with everything on, and you just told them the number.
Okay.
So then they went and found it along the numbers, and
it makes it so much easier, doesn't it,
for the volunteers and workers to get you your beer. That was genius. I liked it. Our social media manager did not, because I couldn't get a good picture of the beers we were drinking. Yeah, there was the Origins bar, which I was quite excited about, and the tap room was also open, and we popped up there at one point from a VIP party. And that was quite lovely as well, because that's in the field, like in the middle of the farm buildings. So that was cool. It is absolutely beautiful. Good beer selection, like good entertainment, good food, good, just
good.
Yeah,
just good.
It's good times.
It always sounds like so much fun. Like every time I hear someone talking about it, I'm like, oh, it sounds like so much fun.
Can confirm it was great.
Is it dog friendly?
Yes.
Oh,
so many doggos. So many good boys and girls.
Oh my God. All the best babies.
We were sat for a really long time with Brett, formerly of Wild Beer Co, and their family and their dog, who was just beautiful. He said, normally she'll come in the house and she'll sit for 10 minutes when it's sunny, and then she'll go back out and sit out for 10 minutes. And then she'd come back in. And so we were sat at a table, so she kept kind of sitting in the sun, and then she'd come under the table, and then she'd go back out again.
That's Phelan to a T. She's like sunbathing, and then she's like, I'm done sunbathing now. Anymore. And now I'm sunbathing, and now I'm not. Oh, I feel like Phelan would love that, especially if there's like a lot of places, like if it's, camping. I don't know what the setup of the site's like. So it's like if there's lots of good like walks and stuff like that, Phelan would be living her best life. She'd rent a camper van and take Phelan up there next time.
love it. Phelan would love it. Yeah, there's dog walking areas.
Oh, and I just want to I love water. Phelan's not a water baby, but that's okay. I'm a water baby, so I feel like I would love it from just splashing about in water. She would love it from the all the walkies all day.
Yeah.
Rick would like it from the nature and the walking and hiking and all that. And I'd love it for the beer. So, and I love I genuinely do like camping. What I don't like, the aspects I don't like about camping are I don't like when you get up and I've got to set up and you set up and then you're only there for two, not if you're there for a Friday and a Saturday, then you got to pack back down on the Sunday. But by the time you get up there on a Friday, it has to be early enough to set up. Whereas at least this, it feels like you're going for an event. So you might be like, I'll take the whole day off because there's stuff to do. And if you go up the night before, if you rented a camper van, there's lots of little bits. And then you could probably tack it on to a proper holiday in Scotland as well. So
if you want to do it, talk to Alex, our mate Alex, because she did that with Sean and they had a brilliant time. They were showing us all the photos because they went around loads of places in a camper van the week before and then came to the festival.
And that could be your finishing. That could be your finishing of that. I feel like that would be, we would love that, going around Scotland in nature with the dog, renting a camper van and doing that. It would be just such a good time.
You would love it.
Yeah, I think I would. And I don't mind Rick takes a piss at me because he thinks I'm just always on my phone. I'm like, no, it's just because I'm sat there and I don't have anything else to do. If we were out in nature, I'd be on my phone because I'm taking photos, but I'm not actually social media-ing or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just
you're not influenced.
No, I mean, I influence no one. But I'd be out just walking about, taking photos and that kind of stuff. But I love being out, and it's I don't care if you take away the Wi-Fi. I'm like, cool. I've got Rick and the dog and beer.
Yeah.
I've got good beer, good food. The people
Signal's
I care
rubbish.
about.
So you will just signal's rubbish. So you will just switch off because you have to.
Yeah, but I think it's nice. I feel like that's a really nice break, is just being able to switch off and no one can find you and you just have to. I could take board games. It would be really good. How is it in terms of when you go to get the beer and then come back to your tent? Do you stay in a particular area with the beer and then the campground's quite separate, or?
Yeah, because it's kind of set up. So you remember?
Is it like Bigfoot?
Yeah, kind of like Bigfoot, but not as spread out. And yeah, so there was seating area, the bars around, and some food in kind of a, let's call it an arena, I suppose. And then there's the camping sites around. So there was one big camping site, and then an area where all the camper vans parked. And then the tap room was the other side of that. So yeah, it's all within that area. And then I believe there was a walk that you could go up to, and they've got a bar that's up on one of the hills called the Walker's Bar.
I mean, that's awesome.
And you can walk to it. So
that's the dream right there.
Do a hike to it and then come back again. It's amazing. It's really good. You could take beer off with you if you wanted, or there was seating around. There was hay bales.
The biggest question, I prefer hay bales to big. This is would you rather big bench or hay bales? I'd rather hay bales. That's easy because I feel like they're wider.
Yeah.
So you can kind of relax a little bit more on them.
And if you sit on an end, you just kind of slide off. You don't ping off.
Yeah. And it's just not dangerous. They're lower to the ground.
So they had some, we got in, went out and had breakfast and then just kind of commandeered a table and just stayed there all day. And then various people came and joined us and went off again. And we just made sure that one person was at the table the whole time. But they've got wooden tables and bench seats, but they've got backs, but they've got fine ales etched into them. They're really nice. There was about 4 of those dotted around, and then the mixtape bar was in kind of a teepee tent, and there was old sofas and chairs and stuff in there. There was kind of not a gazebo, kind of the sail shelters.
Yeah.
There was a few of those in the middle, kind of as shelter, and there was seating and hay bales there. There was some tables and chairs inside the Origins bar, and then there was lots of tables and kind of fold away chairs in the main bar because that was a big marquee. So there was lots of seating, and you could just sit on the grass.
Fair. I guess you bring like a picnic blanket, or you could probably bring your own chairs or whatever as well.
Bring a camping chair. I packed my little fishing chair because it packs down into a really small bag, and because I knew we were putting all of our stuff into my colleague's car, I tried to pack as light as possible. He brought a full camping chair, and then I was like, should have brought my camping chair because my fishing chair, the ground was soft, like it wasn't incredibly wet or muddy, but it was soft because it had been raining in the week, and so my fishing chair just kind of sunk into the ground. So I was basically sitting on the floor anyway, and then at one point I pinged out of it. I wasn't even drunk.
That's the worst part.
Fell out of it.
That's the worst part of it. That is like, arguably the worst part.
Right, and I just fell out of it, and I was like if I was drunk, it would be
you could at least be like, I was drunk,
right.
But
I've been drinking, blah blah. No, I'm just clumsy.
That is because that is genuinely the worst of like when you don't even have. I know that we say like alcohol's not an excuse, but at least when you can like hide the embarrassment to be like, I was drinking.
No, I was just bloody clumsy. I pinged out on my chair.
Oh no.
So I should have put my proper camping chair in. So if we do it again, I will take full. And he was like, there was room in the car. You could have done. And I was like, it's no good now.
But it's hard because you don't want to add extra.
Right, I didn't want to add
burden
extra
and space.
Stuff in. We took my trolley so that we could take everything from the car to where we were camping. And the guys were like, this was a good shout. I was like, yes, this is why I'm the events manager.
It was like, how often do they go camping often? Or I guess to be fair, when you go normal camping, you're normally camping next to where you park, so you don't really have to drag your stuff. Whereas you have the experience of doing camping with like Girl Guides and like
I've
bigger
done, like event.
You've done event camping, whereas like normal camping, when it's not event camping, is you park up on a pitch. And your car, your tent is next to your car.
I've done festival camping where you're not near your car. I've done guiding camping where you're not near your car. Like, I was just like, we're going to need a trolley to drag all of our stuff. And they were like, that's a good idea.
See, I wouldn't have thought of it.
They were like, this was a good idea. Yeah, I was like, this has to go in. I was like, if we don't take anything else, we've got to take this. And my colleague I think he'd just bought his tent and he put it up in the garden at home, and he was like, I've got a massive tent, like it's like a 5-person.
Like, all right, calm down, don't brag.
Another colleague, and he's like, he's like, I feel like an idiot because I've got this really big tent. And then when he put it up, I was like, that's not that big. What are you talking about? He's like, well, it felt bigger in my garden.
So they all say.
And then someone had the exact same tent and like pitched it the opposite side of the walkway to us. So I was like, can we make sure we get
to the right
tent.
Oh my god, that would be so embarrassing. Can you imagine going in the wrong tent?
Can you imagine?
I'd be mortified because you imagine you're there ready to like go to bed and someone's like, what are you doing in my tent? And you're like, I'm so sorry.
Like, please look for my tent and then get in your tent.
Oh no. Of all the places, you're like, can you just shimmy that a bit, please? Thank you.
I don't think like we put up our tents quite close to the car park because we knew we had to leave early Saturday morning.
Well, that's it. If you weren't staying the whole weekend, it's like...
So we didn't necessarily get like the best camping pitch because we were quite far away from the toilets and we were quite far away from the arena, but it was because we wanted to be close to the car park so we could break down and leave because we needed to leave at like 7:30.
That's so grim.
Yeah, that wasn't a fun day for
me.
For
like camping, I mean, I feel like I'm up really early when I go camping because it's really hard to sleep in.
But then you're just kind of chilling, right?
Yeah, but you are just chilling going,
like
the idea of packing down
up,
kills me.
Packing it in the car, getting to the airport, making sure I was at the airport on time so I didn't miss my flight. Then my flight was delayed and they didn't even tell us. They just kept us sat there. Then we were delayed taking off, and I'm just like, I've been camping for 2 days. 2 days isn't too bad, right? Like,
no, but it's still a lot when you're like,
too bad. And I was
my patience is done.
I want to go home. Right, I was like, I want to go home. And then like I had like a 2 hour. It was supposed to be a 2 hour drive home because I had to go through Luton. Ugh.
Not the one.
Not the one. I was supposed to have a 2 hour drive. It was showing me 2.5 hours as I set off from the car park. Because as well, so I was like out in the park and ride car park for the airport as well. So I had to get back to the car. Got back to the car. Like, just keep adding all the things on, right? Get back to the car. 2.5 hour drive home. Then someone was on Dartford Bridge and I was sat in like 40 minutes of traffic because they were being careful letting us all over the bridge, and I was like, I'm nearly home. Like,
That's the
Dartford
worst.
Crossing, when I get to Dartford Crossing, I'm about to hit Kent, I'm basically home. No, you gotta sit there.
No, ma'am.
I mean, luckily I had a piece of cake in the car with me, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit and eat this cake while I wait. And I don't think I got home until 4:30.
Oh, fuck.
So I'd been up since 6 and I didn't get home till 4:30. It was not the best day of travel.
No, and I guess that's the thing, is like when you're flying, it's more like if you miss that, that's it. It's so much more painful. Whereas, like, I guess even with a train, even if you were training it, you could be like, oh, I missed one, but there's going to be another one at some point. It was going to be like, but you can get on without much issue.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just, I'm so happy that I live relatively close to the airport, because it's cheaper for us to pay a cab to drop us off, to pick us up and drop us off both sides, than it is to park at the airport, depending on when it is. Like now it's summer holidays, so much cheaper for someone to drive us there, because just the idea of like when you're done and you're like, I want to be done, sitting in a car, I'd just be like, no. I mean, you're still in the car, but we live closer, so like even when there's traffic, half hour becomes maybe an hour.
No,
but like
I'm not.
Ooh.
I'm basically in France.
You're near France.
I'm basically in France. They like, it always gets me when they're like, I get South Park and ride 15 minutes. Buses go every 15 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, but how long does it actually take them to get round all the stops they've got to make?
It's bullshit. Yeah, they come every 15 minutes.
I always give myself extra time, because I was like, oh, it's only 12 minutes. I'm like, nah. I timed it the last time. It was 45. Thank you very much. Once you've stopped at all the terminals. Luton's only one terminal, luckily, but
I don't know. I never fly out of there.
It was my first time.
I'm Heathrow.
If I can.
I'm Heathrow, Gatwick, and Stansted at an absolute push.
Yeah, I go to so many different places that I now have to just pick the best.
The best airport, yeah. Oh, we've got
Luton's not my fave, but I will do it if I have to.
We've got a new question submission that's just come through.
And live.
I should have specified that these probably should be beer-based questions, but actually it's more fun that I didn't. So
ask us anything.
Adam D. French responded saying, would you rather have a brain that can connect to Wi-Fi or have a finger that can time travel? That is, I don't know.
Just the finger time travel, not all of it.
Yeah, just the finger. I guess my question is, do I need to have some type of implant in my brain to have the brain Wi-Fi? Because if not, if it's just like your brain has the ability to connect to Wi-Fi, then I probably would be like that. But if you're telling me I have to have any type of surgery or there's any like implant in my brain, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, maybe no, not that one. I'll go with the time traveling finger, which I don't know how that works. I don't really know.
Like, are we saying that your finger just goes through time and you're left behind? Like, I'm not down for that.
I don't know. Should I clarify?
Ask a clarifier.
Okay.
Because I'm going for the brain with Wi-Fi at this point. Because cool, time traveling, but why is my finger going around?
I'll ask clarifications. I'll read another one while we wait for a spot. I'll say we need clarifications. Is there an implant or surgery required for the brain thing? And does your finger vanish through time without you?
Yeah.
Right. Sent. We'll just leave that there for un momento. Let's ask another one of these questions while we wait. I think we got time for it.
This is live. I'm enjoying it.
This is live, yeah. It's a bit fun. Yeah. This is why we need to do lives. We just need to be like, hey. Right.
Maybe we should. Maybe this is a new era where we do an Ask Us Anything live.
This is our AMA era. I don't know. Yeah. This is what I really want. I need someone to explain Taylor. So I respect Swifties. Like, I get Taylor it. I respect it. I'm not myself, like I don't listen to. I have listened to Taylor Swift. There's some songs I'm like, oh, that's a good one, I'll listen to that. Respect her, I think she's very talented, just not my cup of tea for like what I'd listen to normally.
I love me some Taylor.
There's certain songs, like last year my number one song was Taylor Swift, but I think that's because Folklore came out. And I listened to that quite a lot because there was a lot of she collabed with Bon Iver, and there was a lot of good collab on that. That for me was probably what I listened to more so than not, but then also I wasn't listening to a lot of new stuff, so that just kind of was on repeat. So it ended up being that one, I think it was Anti-Hero, was my number one song of last year on my Spotify Wrap. So not even against Taylor, but I just kind of go, what I really want to know, I'm very curious about, is the different eras. I need someone to explain it to me and break it down. Because
it's just different albums, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
You're saying it is that, isn't it? I don't know.
I am not fully versed on this either, because I enjoy her music and I listen to a fair few of her stuff. I watched the film of her concert. It was very good. I enjoy her music. I couldn't tell you what era is my favourite. I just like I was into her when she was doing country music.
See, I'm not a country music person, so that's not for me.
So.
And like I said, I respect her. I think she's very talented, but it's not what I listen to. I definitely, my music is very different to that on a normal. But I was like, I just want to know what this means. The eras.
I will say I bought some earrings from a new handmade place yesterday, I think.
Oh.
Someone had been like, I bought some. I'd seen on my, because this person makes little book stack earrings.
Of course, you got those. Cute.
And I was like, that's cute. I saw someone was like, I've got my new ones from this person. I was like, they are cute. I'm gonna go look. And actually, they're Taylor Swift eras book stacks. And I was just like, I don't really know what that means, but I like these ones that are brown and have got like gold and green ivy leaves on, so they look like they might be, Lord of the Ringsy.
Oh, I like that. No, I respect that.
I like those. And then there was other ones that were in the eras collection that were purple hearts with different things on, and apparently they're with a particular album. And I was like, I don't care, they look nice. And then there was some Clueless ones, and I'm like,
oh yeah, those ones as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I know someone I work with, like, she absolutely loves Taylor Swift, is going to the Taylor Swift, and I was like, oh, do you have your outfit picked up? Like, do you know what you're wearing? Because I saw Emmy's pictures, and Emmy went and they all looked awesome, and so I was like, oh, do you have your outfit picked out? And she was like, yeah, I'm going as the blah 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 era. And I was like, cool. And then I was like, I don't know, like, I want to know, because I find it interesting, because so many people are talking about it and it's referenced so much that I'm like, I don't know what it means, but I wish I did, just to know about the background. Could someone explain the eras?
Explain it to me, because I've looked and I've tried to work it out, and I'm like,
I'm not saying it in like a piss takey way. I'm saying it in
I want to know.
I just want to know so I can understand.
Yeah, I've missed this. I've missed it.
And I can't work it out.
Please, and I can't work it out. Maybe I'm being a boomer about this.
I don't care. I
can't work it
definitely
out.
Tell
me. Somebody tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I know like lots of young people lingo. I'm like, go off, King. Please tell me. Yeah, go off, King.
What does that mean? Oh, now I'm booming.
Oh God, I've got the best. I have the best reel to send you. That one of my project coordinators sent me, and I died. Like, literally, it was. I can't wait to send it to you and just see your feedback. But that's for another. I mean,
time. We've got to remember that I'm currently the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So
fair, but also, I was like, what? I got sent a song that I was like, I don't know half of what this lingo that's being said in it is. And so now it just becomes a meme that I'm like, do I actually know what this is? I don't know. But I learned go off, King. And so I'm like, come on, tell me about it. I want to know.
My favourite was when I was teaching and the kids were like, oh, that's bear.
Oh, I don't understand that. That confuses me.
And I was like, right. And actually one of the kids, I was like, right, what measurement is bear?
Well, they go, there's a lot of traffic. What? It's bare traffic. Yeah, but that's fundamentally, that's not what bare means. Bare means empty.
That's bare hard, miss. And I was like, can you please quantify for me what measurement bare is? And the kid was like, I don't know, miss. It's just bare hard, isn't it? And I was like, okay, cool.
I don't. Yeah, that one really eludes me. Anyways, question.
Ready?
All right, let's see what this bad boy's. Hold on, let me first actually check before I open, just in case we had clarification.
Have we had clarification?
We haven't had clarification.
Okay,
Still waiting. All right, carry on. Oh, okay. Would you rather have... This is very topical to something that we spoke about recently.
Okay.
Would you rather have flights of no less than 10 tasters or only full pint servings? And when we talk tasters, we're talking about the 40 mil, 10, 40 mil tasters.
10 tasters?
Well, actually, you know what? Let's amp this up. Let's say thirds. Let's say the UK ones. 10, would you rather have flights of no less than 10 thirds, or you can only order in full pint servings?
Flights. Always flights.
That's cool. I don't know. This is it's, for me, it's a tough one, because you're saying that you have, like, when you order a flight, it can only have, like, there's no less than 10 of them. Whereas,
Fine.
like,
that's 3 and a bit pints.
But I'd almost rather order the pints.
No, because I want to try all those 10. You're going to give me those
to
10?
Be fair,
Coolest,
so I can validate it for me, because for me, I will share them with Rick. So really, I go, oh, half a pint each, we're good.
Yeah, no.
Whereas, like, sometimes I just go, oh, I don't want 10, and they'll be warm by the time I get to the end ones.
Cool. Make sure the end ones are stouts.
There, I like your thinking. You are so, like, staunchly the 10.
Flight.
The 10.
Give me the 10.
I think
Next.
Okay, we might have a disagreement. I might go full pint serving.
That's fine, but that's cool, because I'll have the flights and you'll have the pints.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, "Can I try that?" And I'll be like, "No, because you pick pints.
No,
that's your own."
No, because I'm not limited. It's not like you go, oh, you can only have one
that's
pint.
The
point of the question was, you can only order things in pint-sized servings, or you can only order in groups of 10 that are thirds.
Girl, I'm not dealing with you when you're drinking pints. Okay.
I don't even like drinking pints.
Rick will be with me on this. We're not dealing with you if you're drinking multiple pints. We're not doing that.
I can drink multiple pints. It's just
he has to
when it's above
he's
a certain.
married to you, but I'm not doing it.
I can drink pints. It's just I can't do a whole night of drinking pints. But I feel like I'd moderate.
Why I'm not doing it.
No,
I'm not getting you a crunch wrap in bed. That's not happening.
I'd moderate. I would moderate. I'm mature. I would moderate. But what's the difference between if I had 10 thirds or a few pints?
Because it depends on how many few you want. Because, like, think about how many things you want to try in that menu.
Well, it depends on the menu size, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, they've got enough for 10 thirds.
There's 10. Say there's 10 say there's only 10. But half of them are like,
cool.
What if it's like New England, West Coast?
I'm not going to that far.
I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find a way to sway you. What if they were like, there's only one stout?
Why have you got a problem with my choice?
No.
Why have you got a problem with my choice?
I'm trying to metric at what point is the turning point for you. Like, is it staunchly like no matter what it's flights, or is there a tipping point that you go, okay, maybe I'd consider that? So say there's only 10 lines, right? So right, that's fine. You've already got 10, and it's like 5 of those are like IPAs, like hoppy IPAs, whether it be New England, whether it be West Coast, whether it be American. Half of them already are that. And then you're like, okay, cool. The other 5 are like 5 different ones. So you've got like, let's say like 1 stout, 1 sour, a saison, a bitter, and a mild.
Great.
Are you still like that? We're going with it.
If I don't like those ones, I'll give them to you.
I love there's no tipping point for you.
No.
It's just like hands down, no matter what.
You're not getting me to pint.
See, I feel like I can be swayed into the flights one. It depends on the situation, but I think more likely, depending on the option, I'm more likely to do the pints, because I'm probably going to have less, but I'm just going to handpick a few. But I'm also lucky because I can share them with Rick. So that's fair. Okay, there we go. There's that one. I've still had no further clarification. Should I do another one?
Do one more.
Okay.
I think
one more.
Pretty nice chunky episode for people there, where we're just talking.
Well, minus a good chunk of it that I had to go make a call, an emergency project manager call. Right. Last one. Oh, this is a really good one. I feel like, should I put this one back? Because this one could be more than a few.
If it's too good,
it's a
then,
really
yeah,
good
put
one.
it
I'm
back.
going to put
No,
it back
and
because
think
I feel
of
like this could be a whole good conversation.
Okay.
Can you imagine if I just picked it out again? That would be funny. I was like, oh, again. If I do it again, it's a sign. Okay. This one's a really easy to answer one because it's quick, straightforward. Okay. What do you think of people posting their whole pics? Like no words, just like here's my beer haul. Like not anything about it, just like here it is. This is part one. Just this is what I ordered today.
I feel like that's very like 2019, right?
Oh, it happens daily.
Really?
Yeah.
I obviously don't look at things anymore.
You've just trained your algorithm very well.
You got to. I've trained my algorithm to show me other things. It's got to be on your stairs, obviously.
Well, that was part two of the question is like, does it make a difference if it's on your stairs? I think I put stair optional, but like, how do you feel if it's on the stairs? If it's not on the stairs, how do you feel about it?
It's got to be on the stairs, and then hello, 2019's calling for its post back.
I feel like I see these pictures all the time. I think for me, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I don't
want to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah, that's a really good way to phrase it. And that's what I don't...
But I would appreciate if you tell me where you got it from.
Yeah, I think for me, I wouldn't even say my opinion's like negative of it. Like, it's just I scroll by it if it is that. I don't have any feeling on it. It was more a case of, I feel like, for me, I feel more engaged if you had said, like, here is what I've ordered. Like, I've ordered these beers and here is why I've chosen to order it. Or just adding some context about, like, what's in your order, where did you get it through?
That I want, and now I don't know where you got it from. Like, just, you got to, here's my haul from blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because it just, thanks. I feel like I like a bit of context because I feel like it requires very little effort for someone to just, like, snap a photo. I don't think you have to even be knowledgeable about beer to be like, here is what I've ordered, and especially if you don't have all the knowledge, if you're like, here is why I've ordered it just makes for more interesting conversation. It's more you can engage with, I personally think.
The ones that always make me go, are the ones where it's like, this is my first craft beer order. Hope I pick the right ones.
That's
and
sweet.
I'm like, pick the ones that you want to try. The right ones are the ones that you want to try. And if you don't like them, that's okay because you tried them. Like, if you want to do that, cool. Do what you do, you. As long as you're not being mean to anybody. And if I'm not interested, I'm going to scroll on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel the need to comment.
Yeah, I think...
If I don't enjoy it, I don't comment. Hello, Thumper. If you haven't got something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Unless it is incredibly offensive and detrimental to, a person's well-being or existence, there is no need for you to comment negatively.
Yeah, I don't think I even have any strong feelings about it to comment negatively or positively. It's not even something that I would go not on the post and say to somebody else, like it wouldn't even be something that I'd go, oh, that post was a bit weird. Like, sometimes if I see a post that's like really just sort of ags me a bit, like I'll say to Rick, like, oh, I just saw this post and it's really like winding me up. Like, when I see somebody that's like making a comment on a type of beer label or something else, like, I'll just be like, this is really bothering me because I feel like somebody didn't take into consideration XYZ before they posted, and like whatever. This isn't that type of post that I go, oh, I can't believe, like, this really is just like sticking in my head and I need to talk to somebody about it. Those type of posts never really bother me that much. It's more that I just go, I don't feel a need to engage with it. That, like, the less that you write on it, the less I feel like I have something to engage with. It's more that, like, if you're putting context behind where you've ordered it or why you've made the choices that you've made, maybe you just go, I really like the style, what, has anyone had these before, like, whatever. There's at least something to prompt me to go back
to engage.
Other than that, I just go, okay, cool, you ordered beers, and then I just sort of like keep scrolling.
Put it on your own Facebook page or whatever. If you're just going to put a picture, that's cool. But if you're putting it in a group, you're trying to engage with other people. You're trying to engage with a community. So there needs to be something for people to feed back to.
Yeah, and I don't think, like, again, it's not a negative. It's just like I just don't feel like there's anything that's engaging for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is something that I scroll past.
I'm going to scroll, and you're not going to get any engagement, and then you've just kind of plopped it in front of the community and run off. Like, there's no like, okay, cool. Like, are you trying to engage with people here, or do you just want to
Well, it's
stick a picture
the way
on
you've
there,
just
like...
phrased that makes me laugh. So it just makes me think of someone like at a bar ordering a beer and then like going up to a random table and they're like, I ordered this.
Right, and then walking away, and it's like,
I just want you to know,
okay, cool.
I've ordered these beers, and they're like, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. You wouldn't do that in real life, would you? So
I know that that's very different to the situation, but like the way you just phrased that,
yeah,
that's the visual
that
that came to my head as they've like ordered a beer and they're like, I just want you to know,
I think.
I got this one.
Cool.
People like, cool.
Yeah. That's a good question. I like that one.
So we haven't got any qualifying information.
We'll have
So
to come back. We'll have to revisit.
We can revisit this, but at the moment, are you willing to state your ground on what you're feeling? For me, I'm feeling if it requires any surgery or any foreign objects in my brain for the Wi-Fi to work, it is the finger thing, the time traveling finger. Even if it disassociates and comes back, that's fine. Like if it just completely goes and comes back, I'm fine with that.
I don't see the point of a disassociating finger. Like, what is the benefit to me?
I'd rather have something.
My finger just gets weird now.
I'd rather have something that's pointless than something that's in my brain. I already have that 5G chip. I can't sleep that great.
And they tweak with it, God's sake. So if my time traveling finger takes me with it, yeah, I'll take that. Otherwise, I'll put an implant in my brain. I'm gonna have the Wi-Fi.
I'll be clear, if there's no implant involved and it's just a superpower that I have, I'm going with the Wi-Fi brain.
Yeah.
For clarification.
I also don't know what benefit I would have of having a Wi-Fi brain.
You can get Wi-Fi when you're at Finefest.
I mean, okay, but like I quite enjoyed switching off. So.
Yeah, but you can choose to switch off.
That's true. I guess I don't have to pay for Wi-Fi anymore, do I? Because it's just in my brain.
It'd be free.
That's a good.
You don't even need when you go abroad. Just think about it when you go abroad.
Oh yeah, you haven't got.
You don't have to be like, where's my 3G? Where's my 5G chip?
Roaming,
where's my roaming?
Do your roaming data.
So there you go. There are merits.
Wi-Fi in the brain.
Yeah, unless there's Wi-Fi in the brain, hands down. Unless it requires an implant or surgery, then time traveling finger. So we'll revisit this when we have clarification. It'll be like a random episode where it'll be like an educational episode or like a really serious one where we're talking about something and I'll be like, oh, can I just bring up the clarification? We're
just gonna clarify this thing. Right. Well, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I think maybe we should do some more of these.
Light lifting.
Tori, if people want to tell you whether they want to hear this type of thing again, or if they want to explain Taylor Swift's eras to you,
God.
I'd like them to do that to me too. Where can they get hold of you?
Oh, please, yeah. If you want to, I honestly want it to be really clear. Like, I am not taking the piss. I genuinely want to know. I want someone to explain it in like a TLDR way, like a Reddit TLDR way, so that I can, or like an ELI5. I need someone to ELI5, TLDR, all the lingo, go off king. You can come find me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism, or you can email me if you've got a dissertation. Maybe you've got a really good Reddit post that explains it. You can email it to me at adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com. If you want to answer some of these questions or submit your own, tell us, how do you feel about hall pics, number one, and number two, stair option. How do you feel about when they're on the stairs? Would you rather have flights of no less than 10 tasters, or you can only order in full pints? Or how are you feeling about the name beer tender? If you want to answer all these questions, or you want to ask us your own, you can find us at A Women's Brew on Instagram, Facebook. You can tweet us. Probably won't tweet back, but we probably will see it, at least in that case, so we can take note of it.
I don't think we'll see it.
I won't. You might, because I don't have the access to that.
I've
by design
been logged out since it turned to X.
I'm hoping we'd get an email. We don't know.
So I don't think the notifications are set up.
Slide into our DMs on Instagram more than anything else. Send us your own questions. Make sure there's specific information. I don't even want to say that it has to be specifically beer related, because some of that was really good.
That was good, yes.
How would you feel? Would you rather have a dog bark that says "wow" like Owen Wilson, or screams like a person? Which which one do you want?
No to the
Yeah,
screaming.
come find us
Absolutely.
there. Or if you want to sort of email us anything there, you can email us at womansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Jo, if people want to like see your errors earrings, even though you don't really know what the
I
errors
haven't
are,
got them yet, but once I've got them, they will definitely be on my social media. I was probably only going to put them on my book one, but I'll definitely put them on my beer
there you go.
one
Now you need
so you
to.
can see them. Got to. You can find me on Instagram as Love Beer Learning. I'm on Facebook and X and TikTok and Pinterest, but really you're going to find me on Instagram. Or you can come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email me lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Send me that dissertation on what
the errors.
the
The errors are.
the errors are as well, because I want to know. I've been trying to find out and I just can't.
It's
work
one
it
of
out.
those
I'm
things that
boomering
I've been
it.
trying
I'm
to find
sorry.
out, but it feels too late to ask.
Yes.
So I'm
yeah,
like,
I feel
I
like we
can't
missed the boat.
really ask anyone, but I'm asking
Please,
here because this is a
bro.
safe space.
Yeah, we're in a safe space. Please throw us that lifeline. Pull us back to the boat because we missed it.
Oh,
Anyway, on that note,
cheers.
cheers.